Welcome to this session, techies. My name is Yogesh. In this session, we are going to talk about initializing EBS volumes. What is EBS volume initialization? We all know EBS provides persistent block storage to be used with EC2 instances. EBS volumes are basically network attached to the physical server hosting the EC2 instances. So they are not direct attached storage, or they are not local to the instance, but basically they are allocated from the storage over network. Initialization, also known as pre-warming, is a process to read out all the blocks of the volumes so EBS volumes can achieve its maximum performance. Next thing, why EBS volume initialization for the volume restored from snapshot is needed. So whenever you restore or create a volume from the snapshot, the data is not immediately available on the volumes, but it gets synced from the AWS S3. Let's suppose you request some data which is on S3 at present. Basically, that data is not synced to the local volume which you created or restored from the snapshot. Then what will happen? The instance will directly start reading from S3. It will not read locally because that data is not synced yet on the local volume from the S3. In that case, you will get performance penalty. You will not get the performance which you are expecting from that particular EBS volume type. Or in other words, I can say volume will not perform with its full capabilities. When we initialize the drives, all data is read from the S3 and available to the volume itself. In that case, there will be no performance penalty and your disk or volume will be performed with the standard speed which Amazon generally tells, okay, this is the speed you are going to get from this volume type. If I have to give you example like what I talked about, you can see here, let's say this is your EBS volume and you create a snapshot. We create snapshot in case some DR happens or you have to recover the data. You can create volume from that particular snapshot which you created and that gets stored on Amazon S3. So this is the first example, you created snapshot. And now some disaster happened or you want to restore this particular volume due to some other purpose. You create a volume from the snapshot. You can see on the screen that you created a volume from the snapshot from S3 and you get EBS volume. But what I mentioned, data is not immediately available. When you read the volume, then data gets synced from here. Otherwise, if you don't read, then you will get performance penalty. So that's something Amazon always recommend whenever you create or restore a volume which is created from snapshot, make sure you initialize the volume. Because otherwise, like if that volume is used in production, definitely you are going to hit by performance penalty. Next thing, what are the indicators when EBS volume need initialization? The main indicator, let's say you have created or restored a volume from snapshot and that is not performing as per Amazon EBS recommended speeds or the expected speed as per the Amazon documentation. Let me bring up this page so I can give you idea. You can see on my screen like for GP2 expected speed is 160 MB per second, and for IO1 max you will get 320, for ST1 500, and for SC1 250 MB per second. And again that's conditional, like your instance need to be particular, like minimum these type if you want to get supported. Basically your instance need to be EBS optimized, that's something. But again, you will get speed around these documented values. In case you are not getting these, then first thing you can think of, okay, maybe my volume need initialization that's created from snapshot. So that's an indicator. Next thing, how disk initialization can be performed. If you're running Linux, that's very easy. Use dd command. In dd, you have to run dd if mean input file is equal to dev slash your disk xvdb xvdc, whatever your device name. Output file of is equal to dev null. BS mean block size is equal to 1 MB. So we are reading with the block of 1 MB. This is not going to destroy your data because we are just reading, we are not writing anything to drive. So that's safe activity. I was just playing with this thing, so I just thought to write 5-10 lines, like if you have to initialize multiple drives, how you can do it. So simply I have created a shell script where I'm taking input, which is basically I'm storing in devices variable, then I'm reading in a loop. If device is present, then only proceed. If device is not present, echo this message like invalid disk. Please retry the command with valid disk and continue. Otherwise, first check whether initialization is already in progress or not. If yes, then say okay, initialization is already in progress. If all the conditions are meeting, then run dd command with the block size 1 MB, and once initialization is completed, just echo this message initialization completed, and I'm running this command in background. You can see ampersand here, and I'm using T to pass that output to messages file. After that, I'm closing the for loop. In that way, like you can initialize multiple drives. So let's quickly do this activity. I will give you a demo. Okay guys, first thing which we have to check whether the volume which we are thinking that need initialization is created from snapshot or not. The main thing, if you create a fresh volume, I mean to say the volume is not created or restored from snapshot, that's a fresh volume. That volume does not need initialization. Only volumes which are restored from snapshot, they need initialization. So first thing we have to check whether that volume is restored or created from snapshot or not. So for that on Linux, you can run lsblk command first. Here like we got drive. Let's take example of this drive xvdf. So first thing, let's check the attachment of this particular volume, like what's the volume ID. For that you can directly log into your console, or if you want to run command, you can run ec2 describe volume commands. I already got volume ID, so you can run like this: AWS ec2 describe volumes dash volume ID and the volume ID. When you run this command, you can see here this is gp2 volume and it is attached as xvdf, like this drive, and this volume was created from snapshot because here you are seeing snapshot ID. So this volume was created from snapshot. So I have just created this volumes couple of minutes back. You can see the timing here, it was created couple of minutes back only. So this volume need to be initialized. So let's initialize this particular drive using the basic script which I have written. For that I will run the script and I will put the device which is xvdf in our case. I will press enter. So initialization is started in the background. If I repeat this command, my script will say okay, initialization is already in progress. So let's wait it to finish. For parallel, if you want to see what is happening, you can run iotop, which will tell whether this read is started or not. With iotop, you can see what's the read activity or write activity on your drive. You can use other utilities also. You can see here, like this particular dd command is reading and disk is around 98% busy, and we are getting this particular speed at present. So it may finish very soon. I'm pressing Ctrl C because the volume is gp2 and the size is only 4 GB. So I am pausing this video for a couple of seconds so we can continue once the initialization is finished. Okay, so initialization is finished. You can see like we got around 64 MB per second speed, and this is the message from script like initialization is finished. So simply my script executed this command. You can manually run this command. Why I thought about script, if you got multiple drives, like script will run the initialization process in background for multiple drives at the same time. Okay, so this is the way like you can initialize the drives. Couple of other things which I want to share with you, that's very important information, because many guys ask do the ephemeral or basically instance store volumes need initialization? So answer is no. Instance store volumes are already initialized. Basically, they are SSD disks and they are directly attached. They cannot be snapshot or restored, so they don't need to be initialized. Next thing, I have created new EBS volume. Do I need to initialize it? No. If your volume is fresh, which means like that is not restored or created from snapshot, volume does not need to be initialized as that's pre-initialized from Amazon. When I restore volume from snapshot, what all EBS volume types need initialization? Because that's again one question which is asked in many interviews. Initialization applies to all EBS volumes which are restored from snapshot. Volume type may be GP2, IO1, SC1, ST1 or standard. So it's applicable on all the volume types which got restored from snapshot. Next thing, how long volume initialization may take or will take? So time taken by initialization depends upon the volume type, its size and the instance type. Because when you got EBS optimized instances, you will get better EPS performance because there is a separate network channel for EBS communication or EBS connectivity. So that depends upon your instance type. So this is all about this session. If you have any query, any suggestion, just post a comment on my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Thank you.